What is up, Scentsy fans? It's Patricia, and welcome to another Bring Back My Bar Tester Tuesday episode, where we are discussing 4 January Bring Back My Bar scents. So these are going to arrive January 1st while quantities last. They typically last the whole month, but not always. And remember, utilize the Always Get My Bar feature in Scentsy Club for the ones that you love. So let's get into the reviews. All right, let's talk about our first place scent for the week. It is Key Lime Pie. This one had 24% of the vote. It's this bright green colored wax. And on cold sniff, I would say this is medium plus intensity. And Scentsy has put this in the bakery, but I would put this in the citrus category. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, the mouth-watering blend of coconut and lime. Now on cold sniff, it was my first sniffs ever, and I found I got a lot of tangy, sweet, candied lime, very similar for me to Fiesta lime. Then as I breathed in more, I could get the underlying tone of the coconut very, very mildly in the background. So I decided to let my family smell it, and then from there I was going to figure out where I was going to warm it. So let's talk about family rating first. My husband said, oh, that's nice, and he gave it 7 out of 10, and he immediately knew it was lime. Erica didn't care for this one at all, which surprised me. She gave it 4 to 10. She said, it doesn't smell like key lime pie. She was picking up a Play-Doh note in it. And Ryan really liked this. He said, it smells really good. It smells like limes. And he gave it 9.5 out of 10. So I thought, well, I'll put it in the boys' room since Ryan really liked it. So it was fairly strong there. I put 3 cubes in amongst 2 different warmers. And it was probably at max between 8 and 9 out of 10. However, it didn't last very long. It only lasted maybe 3/4 of the day, which was unfortunate. Now, when I was smelling it, the first instinct I had was it reminded me of Mountain Dew, and also almost like a sweetened candied chewy lime, either candy or a lime wedge that you have, poached in simple syrup and dusted in sugar, kind of something like that. I never really smelled any coconut. I never really smelled any pastry. I never even really smelled a graham cracker crust, which sometimes you get with key lime. So that's, for me, why I put this in the citrus category, because I don't really pick up any bakery notes. But the other spot I warmed it was the kids' bathroom. Again, it performed fairly well there, between 7 and 8 for 2 cubes in the kids' bathroom. But it only lasted, again, about half the day, maybe even 3/4 of the day at the most. So if you're someone that liked Fiesta lime, very sweet candied limes, this would be a good one to pick up. If you're looking for the bakery, I would say skip out on this one, or you're going to need to add bakery notes to this wax to do that for you. For strength, I would say most size spaces it would do well, but remember, it's not a very long-lasting scent. At least for me, it wasn't, and that's pretty typical of the scent pyramid with citrus scents. Would I be repurchasing this one? No, even though my family mostly liked it, it just wasn't a standout for me. Most people would probably stick with Cocoa Lime over this one. Cocoa Lime is a bit more authentic. This is a bit more candy. So that is Key Lime Pie. All right, let's talk about our second place scent for the week. It is Pumpkin Tiramisu. This one had 23% of the vote. It's this light orange colored wax. And on cold sniff, I would say this is medium plus, and Scentsy has put this in the bakery section. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, layer pumpkin with sweet brown sugar and vanilla cream for an autumn twist on a favorite Italian dessert. So they've highlighted pumpkin, which I say yes, it's an unsweetened style, pure natural pumpkin. It's not a gross pumpkin, it's very well done. They talk about brown sugar, and that's where you get the sweetness, because I think if it was sweetened pumpkin and brown sugar, it would be very, very sweet. This is a good sweet level once you mix everything together, and that's where we get the vanilla cream, because that just kind of gathers everything together and makes it a coherent, well-done scent. This is a really nice scent. Now, it is based on tiramisu, which does have a coffee note that you often dunk the lady fingers in. Is there coffee in this? I'm going to say I suspect there's a tiny bit. However, if you don't like coffee, I would not let that scare you, because I think what that little tiny hint of coffee might be doing, if I'm correct that it is in there, which my nose might find it just a tiny bit, is that it's mixing with the brown sugar to just kind of deepen that note. Very similarly, when you add a coffee or an espresso note or a granule coffee to a chocolate scent. Now, this is not the strongest pumpkin scent that I've ever had, but it's done very well in the past for me with pods. And the wax was very well done in the sense that it performed very well. And I will tell you, I went and had a mammogram while I was warming this, and my coat must have been in the main area. And while I was getting the mammogram, it must have still been on me because she said, I smell like a scented candle. You smell really good. And I'm thinking to myself, it's got to be the pumpkin tiramisu. Somewhere else I went after that commented that they could smell a scented candle. So I'm pretty sure it was pumpkin tiramisu. But yes. So let's talk about my family rating, and then we'll talk about performance. So this one was a mixed bag of tricks. My husband made a face and he said it wasn't for him. He gave it 5 out of 10. Erica said 7 out of 10, which was a little bit of a surprise for me. Ryan also made a face and said 5 out of 10. So Ryan didn't really care for this one either. And for me, scent appeal is probably about a 6 out of 10. I'm not one that usually loves pumpkin scents, but this is okay. So I decided to warm it in my open layout and the storage room. And I put 1 cube in the storage room. And it was about 7 to 8 out of 10 there. And it lasted a fair amount of time. I would say I think I left it 2 or 3 days. And in the open area, I put 6.5 cubes just because of the way my warmers are. I have 4 warmers right now. And strength and throw there was about 8 out of 10 at its max, but I left it going 2 full days. On the second day, it was probably about a 5 out of 10. So I thought that was very, very, commendable. Now I will say, when I took this bar out of the packaging, just from my experience with Scentsy, I felt like it was a light-weighted bar. And I actually weighed the wax itself. It was 70 grams. It says here it's 74 grams, and I took out a couple other bars, and one weighed 74 and one weighed 76. So this one only weighed 70. So that's why I only have half a cube left. I just wanted to keep a little bit the smell for you. But I think if you're someone that likes non-spiced, not overly sweet bakery that are good performers and somewhat linger and last, then you're going to want to pick up pumpkin tiramisu. It's more of a fall-leaning scent, but it's really well done. And in pods, if you ever see them in pods, it was a phenomenal performer. I'm surprised they didn't bring it back in pods this round, but there you go. Will I be repurchasing this one? I may repurchase one and put it aside. I did enjoy it. It's not one that I need to club, but it is pumpkin tiramisu. Great performer. All right, let's talk about our third place scent for the week. It is Cherry Clove Chutney. This is a dark red colored wax. On Cold Snip, it's about a medium to medium plus, and it is in the spice category, and this one had 17% of your vote. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, crushed Bing cherries, cloves, and cinnamon. That is an excellent scent description. The cherries are not overly sweet, and they do not read medicinal cough syrup to me. And the clove and cinnamon is very dominant in the scent. So if you're someone that loves spice, you're going to love this. It is more of a spice then fruit scent, not the other way around. So the cherry is there kind of supporting the spice, in my opinion. And this reads very much of a craft store, a little bit more of an old school Christmas style scent, holiday scent. And one thing I really like about it is not overly sweet, but if you want it sweeter, you can add something to it, which sometimes I do. I often mix this one with apple butter frosting. And I've warmed this a lot over the years because I picked up a lot of bars many years ago. Not smelling it, I think I probably had 6 and I had to gradually work through them. And I like it on its own, but I prefer it mixed. So I didn't mix it for this review, I just warmed it on its own. Now we have another scent in the Bring Back My Bar, Cranberry Spice. Cranberry Spice is more fruity with spice, and this is the other way around, more spice with some fruit. If you want to get a good middle ground, you probably could mix both of those scents. They would work very well together. So let's talk about the family rating for this one. My husband said this is cinnamon on fire. He gave it 5.5 out of 10. Erica did not like this one. She said 5 out of 10. And Ryan was okay with it at 7 out of 10. So I decided to warm 1 cube in my entranceway. And it was about an average performer there in terms of strength and long lasting in terms of longevity. Now I often just comment in that manner because the one warmer that I use in the hallway, it's not designed for performance, it's designed for light purposes. I usually use a glass mini warmer there, and I'll talk about it with the next scent, but that's why I don't give it a number there usually. But I decided to warm it in the boys' room because I've had a lot of experience. I know that this is about a medium to a medium plus intensity and a long lasting scent. So in their room right now, I would say we're on the start of day 3 and it's about 5 out of 10 now, but at its max it was about 7 to 8 out of 10, probably closer to 8. Really old school craft store. Like there was this store that I used to go to called Goose Island Primitive, and it always makes me think of Homestead Holiday, but it makes me think of they ran out of Homestead Holiday and it was just after Christmas and they didn't know what to put in. They were scrounging around. They're like, "What? Let's put this one in." It's not as sophisticated. It's more earthy and basic, but I think if you like Homestead Holiday or that really intense, spicy characteristic that one has, you probably like cherry clove chutney. I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying that they give the same feel for me. So I think medium to large spaces for this time of year, December, January would be great for this. Very long lasting for me. And like I said, you can mix it up by adding a sweet scent. For me, it's usually apple butter frosting. Will I repurchase this one? No, only because I've had so much of it in the past. I'm okay with not having any more. But if you're someone that really likes spice, you want to pick up this one. Cherry clove chutney. All right, let's talk about our last plate scent for the week. It is Taj Mahal. This one had 16% of your vote. It's this purple colored wax and the front is baby blue, so that's interesting. Scentsy has put this in the floral section and I would definitely agree. And it's about a medium to medium plus on cold sniff intensity. I would say medium plus. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, a soft oriental fragrance built on a base of musk and amber with subtle florals. Well, that scent description says soft. It is not a soft scent. It is assertive. They say subtle. It is not subtle florals. It's pretty strong. So on cold sniff, this reminded me of a musky oriental floral with some powdery notes. I also find as I warm it, there's a soapy lavender that comes out for me. I do not like soapy lavender, so that is very off-putting for me. There's definitely a powdery tone. Now, my daughter smelled this and she said, oh my gosh, that is baby powder, straight up. She did not smell anything else. And so she and I were going back and forth arguing. She said, no, it's baby powder. I said, no, it's... I was describing... I was getting musk. I was getting almost like an exotic feel, a little bit of powder. The powder for me was coming secondary. For her, it was dominant. So I pulled out Newborn Nursery and I said, smell this side by side. Newborn Nursery I prefer over this. And she said they smelled very similar to her. So anyway, I would say definitely two camps, but it is powdery and there is musky. It talks about amber, things like that. So if you like florals that are lavender, musky, oriental, powdery in nature, then definitely pick up Taj Mahal. All right, so let's talk about the family rating because this one is a bit of a interesting. My husband sniffed this twice, said no, gave it 4 out of 10. He really didn't like it. And for 4 out of 10, that's a low mark for him because even scents that he doesn't really like, he usually gives him about a 5. My daughter said baby powder. She said it's very, very strong, but she liked it. She gave 8 out of 10, and Ryan said 8 out of 10. So because of those, aspects, I decided Erica's room would be a, safe bet. And I'm going to tell you, I kind of cheated because I thought to myself, she's gone away for the night, so I put it in her room in case she didn't like it. And then I thought maybe it'll die down. The scent, whoa, it was so strong. Okay, so I have a note there. It was in her room about 9.5 out of 10 for 3 cubes. It was so friggin' strong. And let me tell you, I removed it on the end of the 5th day. The end of the 5th day, it was still about 4 out of 10 in her room. And I'm like, this thing is never going to die. So if you're someone that likes to change your scents very infrequently, put this in. But you want to like strong florals that are musky, oriental, soapy lavender, and baby powder based. All right, so the other spot I said, I really don't want this in my room. I don't want it in the main area. I just don't want it anywhere else. But I decided to put it in the hallway because I have a very, I would call it poor performing glass warmer there. And that's a good tip. We're going to just branch off from the scent and we're going to talk about how do you deal with scents that you don't really care for. Well, you can gift them away. You can throw them away, which I feel is wasteful. You can donate them to Goodwill, like a shop or something like that. Or if you really want to use them up, you could put them in a warmer that is a poor performer and it is going to lessen the intensity of that scent dramatically. Now, it's the kind of thing that after a while it may not seem like it's throwing. If you take that wax out, you're going to smell it. It's still going to smell strong. You could transfer it to another room in a stronger warmer and almost like give it the paddles of life and get it going again. So just keep that in mind. If there are scents that you find are too strong at the beginning, you can start them in a weak warmer and later transfer them to a warmer that's hotter in another area. And if it's a scent that you don't really like but you feel bad wasting it, you can just do that and leave it for a while and use it up that way. So this is a very long-lasting scent. This is a strong scent. Would I be repurchasing this one? No. And for me, I would say it reads more for time of year, I don't really know. I would say maybe the winter to spring, or maybe transition time from summer into fall. I'm not sure because it's just not one that I gravitate towards, but I do commend its performance. So if you love strong lasting scents, then you're going to want to pick up Taj Mahal. All right, so now we are going to move to the portion of the video where I normally present to you some scents and then you guys vote. But being that this video is coming out on December 24th and a lot of people celebrate Christmas, I thought let's give you guys a break from voting, and we are just going to warm the remaining 4 Bring Back My Bars that I don't have reviews up for. The reviews for these will come out December 31st, and that will conclude our Bring Back My Bar Tester Tuesdays because I've pre-warmed a lot just through the years. So the ones we're going to cover next week are Lily of the Valley, Orange Dreamsicle, Simply Cinnamon, and Sizzling Coconut. Now, what I'm going to get you to do down in the comments below is, instead of voting this week, I'd love for you to put some questions for me or some discussion threads that you want me to discuss, because I'm aiming to do a live video on December 29th. That's a Sunday. I'll probably do it in the late afternoon, so that way some of our European friends can jump on, as well as our North American addicts. So hopefully I'll see you on December 29th. So down in the comments below, you can put your questions or discussion points, and we'll get to chatting on Sunday. So thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. Take care. Don't forget to put your comments below or questions, and I will see you guys in the next video.